The Wave XLR Pro is a dual input XLR interface with onboard DSP processing, 5 independent hardware mixes, VST plugin support, 2 USB-C connections, and deep integration with the Wavelink ecosystem, all in a compact desktop unit priced at $349. That's a lot of capacity at that price point and a lot of complexity to evaluate. And I've been through every piece of official documentation, the Elgato spec sheets, the Sweetwater listing, and the Wavelink 3.0 architecture to give you the most complete picture available before this thing actually ships here. And here's everything you need to know what the Wave XLR Pro actually is. Before the individual features, the most important framing, the Wave XLR Pro is not primarily a microphone interface. It is a routing matrix and mixing hub that happens to have two excellent mic preamps built in. The distinction matters because it changes who this product is for. A standard XLR interface, include the original Wave XLR and the new Wave XLR MK2, is a device that takes your microphone signal and sends it cleanly to your computer. The Wave XLR Pro does that and significantly more. It runs up to 5 independent mixes simultaneously, all processed on the hardware, with each mix receiving a different combination of inputs at different levels with different effects routing. You can run a personal monitoring mix in your headphones, a stream mix with ducking applied, and a separate clean recording mix for post production, all simultaneously, all without touching a single software setting during your recording. And for a YouTube creator whose workflow involves recording to a DAW, monitoring in real time, and potentially running a simultaneously stream or second recording channel, that multi mix capability is genuinely significant. And for a creator who records a single channel and drops it in the timeline, it's more than they need. The preamps and gain. Finally, enough for demanding mics. The Wave XLR Pro features two high performance XLR mic inputs with 80 dB of clean gain each. No inline preamps required. And this is the number that matters most for YouTube creators running dynamic microphones. The Shure SM7B, the Electro Voice RE20, the Rode Pod mic. All of these are gain hungry dynamic mics that have historically required a cloud lifter or inline preamp booster when paired with interfaces that top out at 60 to 65 dB of clean gain. The original Wave XLR delivered 75 dB. The XLR Pro delivers 80 dB per input. And that extra headroom makes a real difference with gain hungry dynamic microphones where every decibel counts. And if you're running an SM7B or an RE20 or similar high gain demand mic, you can leave the cloud lifter in the drawer. Both inputs include 48-volt phantom power for condenser microphones, enabled per input through Wavelink, and off by default to protect dynamic mics from accidental phantom power exposure. And the Wave FX processor onboard DSP that changes the game. Wave XLR Pro runs professional audio effects directly on the hardware with zero latency monitoring. A low cut filter removes low frequency rumbles from desk vibrations and ambient noises. And an expander gently reduces background noise while leaving your voice untouched. Voice tune adds warmth and presence with a blend of compression and harmonic saturation. And the compressor balances your audio so quiet moments are audible and loud, and moments stay controlled. And the equalizer sculpts your voice across 4 bands to add clarity and reduce the muddiness or shapes your tone. These effects processing on the hardware rather than your CPU matters for two reasons. First, your computer isn't doing the work and no CPU load from audio processing, which is meaningful for creators running OBS, a DAW, and potentially video software simultaneously. And second, because processing happens on the device, you hear your fully processed voice in real time through your headphones. And what you monitor is what gets recorded and streamed. And no surprises. When you play back the footage, the VST plugin support extends this further. Wave XLR Pro supports third party audio plugins too. VST on Windows, audio unit on Mac OS, and through a dedicated low latency path. Plugins run on your computer via Wavelink and are inserted directly into the hardware signal chain. So every app that uses your mic receives the process audio automatically. And this is a meaningful step and what any previous Wave product offered, and brings the Wave XLR Pro into direct competition with more expensive dedicated DSP hardwares. It also has ClipGuard 2.0, the upgrade that matters more than it sounds. ClipGuard 2.0 takes a layered approach with three stages of protection. It stacked ADC, converts capture your signal at multiple gain levels simultaneously. Internal 32-bit float processing provides massive headroom, so volume spikes never hit the digital limit, and digital limiters smooth out sudden peaks before they reach your system. The result is 135 dB of dynamic range compared to 100 dB on the original. And for YouTube creators doing interviews, podcasts, or any content with unpredictable audio, laugh moments, raised voices, and sudden emphasis, ClipGuard 2.0 is the difference between a clipped taking you can't use and a clean recording you can. And the original ClipGuard was a meaningful feature. The second generation is a professional grade protection system. The connectivity built for complex workflows too. The Wave XLR Pro has two USB-C ports that serve different roles. USB-C host connects to your main computer, and one cable can handle power and audio, and the USB-C auxiliary connects a second PC or a gaming console or phone with plug-and-play simplicity, and no drivers needed. Both ports run at the same time, and USB-C auxiliary can also power Wave XLR Pro in standalone mode when your main PC is off. And for a YouTube creator running a single computer, in the dual USB-C is mostly future proofing. And for creators who run dual PC setups, one for gaming and one for primary content and one for streaming, or want to route phone audio into their recording session. And the second port is a genuine workflow simplification. No need for a separate audio capture device to pull a phone's audio into the mix. And the analog IO, a line level input and output, allows integration with external gear, hardware, synthesizers, audio players, or line level sources that need to sit in the signal chain without a separate interface. The five independent hardware fit mixes too. Wave XLR Pro runs up to five independent mixes simultaneously, ducking automatically, and it lowers to background audio when you speak, applied per mix. So your stream gets ducked while your headphones mix stays full. Max Max Maximizer boosts loudness while preventing clipping, applied independently to each of the five output mixes for broadcast level impact. In practice, for a typical YouTube creator workflow, mix one is your headphone monitoring and everything you want to hear while recording at levels optimized for comfort. Mix two is your recording output, clean or processed, depending on your workflow preference. Mix three could be a stream output with a different levels of ducking applied. Mix four and five are available for additional destinations, a second device, a backup recording path, or a completely different configuration for a co-host or an interview situation. And the ability to deliver different versions of your audio to different destinations simultaneously without any additional software routing complexity is the feature that justifies the price premium over single channel interfaces. And Wavelink 3.0 and Stream Deck integration. The Wave XLR Pro requires Wavelink 3.0, a free download, and is designed to pair closely with the Stream Deck hardware for tactile control. Paired with the Wave XLR Pro and the Stream Deck XL, it becomes a tactile controller of your entire signal chain. And for creators already in the Elgato ecosystem, this integration is compelling. For creators who aren't, it's worth understanding that the full potential of the Wave XLR Pro is realized inside Wavelink software environment. The hardware controls are limited to a dial and the and mute button, which means hands-on real-time adjustment. And during recording requires either the software interface or a stream deck. And this one area where the Go XLR and similar competition or with hardware fades, it maintains an advantage. Physical controls that don't require a secondary device for real-time adjustment. And for creators who primarily set levels before recording and don't need to adjust on the fly, it's a non-issue. And for those who do, budget for a Stream Deck alongside this interface. And who should buy it and who shouldn't buy this? The Wave XLR Pro at $349 makes strong sense for creators running two mics for interviews or co-hosted formats. Anyone using gain-hungry dynamic microphones who wants to retire the cloud lifters, and creators who want real-time process monitoring without CPU overhead, and anyone already invested in the Elgato ecosystem looks to centralize their audio workflow. It makes less sense for solo creators or recording a single microphone into a basic DAW who don't need routing complexity. Anyone whose primary software is a traditional DAW where the advanced wavelength routing adds no value in budget conscious creators for whom the Wave XLR MK2 at 169 covers all their actual requirements. In the verdict on specs alone, this is the most capable audio interface Elgato has ever made, positioned at a price point that is competitive with professional alternatives that offer less software integrations and less ecosystem cohesion. And whether the real world performance matches the spec sheet is the question that hands on testing will answer. And that review will follow once units are in hand. Thanks for watching. And if you liked this video and you found value to this video, will you please subscribe? Looking to grow my channel, and I can't do it without you. Check out this video to the right, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.